All right, welcome everybody. This is Gene Dubuisson of RMF Magazine.
This meeting is being recorded.
Also co-hosting with Alix Gilles of PBCHOOPS. We got everybody pretty much that's going to Lakeland from South Florida. I'd like to introduce Coach Leon from Martin County, Coach Edward from Stranahan, Assistant Coach Derrick from Lake Worth, Head Coach David Rope from Sagemont, Head Coach from Calvary Christian, Cilk McSweeney, Head Coach from Lake Worth, Frank Baxley, and Head Coach from Columbus, Andrew Moran. Ed, I ain't know how to pronounce your last name, and I don't want to mess it up, so forgive me on that one. But I appreciate everybody again for being on here. And just kind of to start off with everything, this is an open question to everybody, and I'll just call you out who I want to answer first. At what point in the season did you guys see that, this could be a major goal to get to Lakeland? And I'll start with David of Sagemont.
Hey, how's it going, Doobie? For us, it was, I think we took a trip out to California, played some real tough competition while we were out there at a good event, and wound up finishing in the third place game. And that's when we have a bunch of new guys that were in, and it really started to click, and the chemistry started. And we realized then that we had a chance to be real special and make a run at it.
Coach Ed, again, a lot of people don't know, but you guys lost your head coach to some stuff that, I'm not going to mention. But how has that camaraderie and everything brought your team more together to get to this moment? You guys beat a tough Northern team that normally goes to Lakeland themselves. And how have you guys been prepared? And at what point in the season did it turn for you guys?
Yeah, we lost coach, but, he's still around. We still talk to him. It played a major part because we kind of like, he was got to do everything, guy. So, I ain't gonna even lie, the loss to Pine Charter really showed us that we could play with any and everybody. And they like locked them in more and made them focus more that they can do that. Because, I got 4 kids. 3 of them played in 2 of the state championships, and 1 of them played in 1. So, there was that Pine Charter loss in the Big 8.
Thank you. Coach Leon, you've been all the way up in the Treasure Coast, and like I told you, historically, Martin County has always held it down for that area. At what point did you realize that your team could have did something repeating stuff like last year when you guys lost to Matter Academy in that regional final game, I believe? From that point, what was your thought process going into this season, and then what changed for you that let you know that, hey, man, we're good enough to get here?
Well, I definitely think it started last year with that loss in the regional final, and we had 1 senior that graduated. But I think the improvement had to be myself. I think scheduling was the biggest task that I had to make sure that we were prepared. I think Mater last year gave us something that we haven't seen. Quick guards, a tough big guy. I think he's down at Palmetto now. Couldn't do anything with him. And I think it was just a matter of toughness. So my thought process was just to get down in Palm Beach County, Broward, Dade, and play as many teams as I possibly could to make sure that area was covered, us being just tough enough. I know we're skilled enough, but it was a little important for me to make sure we got to be a tougher team. And I think just coming down your way, coming down to Broward, Dade, playing those guys, definitely gave us an edge that we could hang with the tougher teams.
Thank you. Now, Cilk, you kind of being a regular member to this group right now, going to Lakeland on a regular basis, as it seems always. How has anything changed for you in the mindset of getting here? Do you take anything for granted at all? And at what point did you realize that, hey, man, we could keep doing this at a high level with the kids that you have?
I think, it looks like there's a couple questions there, but I think that with the first question, we can't overlook anybody because we've been told that if we did win out, we can get to the national championship. and so we couldn't lose anymore after that Mount Verde game. So every game counted, and every game means something to us, and we just got to keep the kids locked in to understand that, because a lot of the local teams here, they do a great job as far as scouting against us, and I think a few coaches help each other out as far as what we did well or did bad against them, and we just gotta be prepared for everything and just get better. But as far as get into our mindset of getting to Lakeland, I mean, that's what we set out to do. As far as becoming a champion and having that type of mindset, even when we were doing bad earlier in the year, early in our career and stuff like that. But once we figured it out, we knew that kids are going to come and go. Talented kids are going to come and go. We just got to have the mindset of just buying into us getting there. And Coach Burrows taught us that, and gave us that mindset. And so we just got to continue keeping that and instilling in all these little young kids. So.
Gotcha. We appreciate it. Now, Frank, like I said, welcome back. You've been out for a little bit. Now you're back in the swing of things, and it looked like your team has kind of picked up on your same personality, fiery, tough. And, at what point, because, I know Derrick going to tell me all the time, hey, Lake Worth, we got them goods over there. So, at what point did you believe, like, that this team here was good enough to get to where you at today?
Well, first of all, it's good to see you guys. Like I said, I remember a couple guys early on when we were back young guys in the coaching thing. Now we're getting a little older. Remember Cilk coming in, and we all did some 5-star stuff. Remember Doobie, we all got together 5-star. So, it's very good, man. It's been some time that we put in, and I can see where all those fundamentals and things that we were taught early on coaching is coming around, and we really carrying the game on, so to say, and educating these kids on how to play. So it's good to see you guys on and your team's being successful. I think for us, to answer the question for us, it's been a building block. I came into this situation. It wasn't the easiest one. Some things were very unorganized. So you had to put things in place and kind of, like you said, build a culture where we were and kind of take off from there. So we've been doing a good job with that. I guess the game, it was a couple games last year, last year being a COVID year. It was a couple games last year. I thought that, hey, man, we can build on this year and possibly get there. I would say some games last year went in district with a young group. And then coming into this year, I guess scheduling, like Coach Leon said, you want to make sure your schedule is right according to what type of team you have. And we had some tough games to play. Coach Leon in Moran County, and he gave us a great game. And I saw some flashes in that game. And then we went over and played Dubuisson, and I thought that we did well. We won that game. And so right then I thought, hey, we got a chance if we just keep building and keep this momentum going, and these guys keep learning. And I thought we had a chance after those, first half of the season, this season, and we've been doing a good job with that, and we've been rolling.
Thank you. Now, Derrick, you being Coach Baxley's assistant, how have you been an integral part in some of the things that have been going on since you were with the last coaching staff that was there?
Nah, D, I was I'm a long time BA guy, so coming up here to Palm Beach, it was different. It was different. It was a real different experience. Me and Coach Baxley have a relationship going back way back in the days. During the days at FSU, and he was like, "Hey, let's make this happen. Let's do something special up here." And everybody knows it took a lot for me to leave Boyd Anderson to come where I live to coach. So it's just really been a team effort, you know, using our minds, collecting our thoughts, putting things together, and it's been a blessing. It's been a blessing. You know, Frank does a great job. You know, he's one of the best guys out there. You know, been doing it.
All right, my last two guys. Drew, I know you're driving. I know you can hear me. You probably have one of the youngest teams that's going to Lakeland right now. You know, again, you guys are very talented. At what point in, you know, you moved that regional final game against a senior laden Cypress Bay team? At what point did you see before the Cypress Bay game that you think these kids could do something with, especially as young as they are, that the season changed for you?
Well, we kind of talked about it at the beginning of the year before it started, just kind of planting it in their mind that you know there was a chance that we can have this opportunity. So we kind of planted it in them early to really set the tone and put the work in. We had some tough games early on where I thought we played really well, and that's when I, you know, really started to believe we. Whereas in the past, I had scheduled tough in the beginning, and we struggled with this team. We did pretty well, especially right at the start of the season. And I just felt like because the way we defended and shared the ball, that gave us a chance.
Anthony, you guys kind of were Coach Shahbaz of RIviera Prep. You guys were kind of on fire in a couple of these regional games, man. And you got a little point guard, Esteban, that's been really, really well for you. At what point did you see the change in your team to get to where you're at today?
I'm sorry, cut out. What'd you say? I'm sorry.
I said, at what point did you feel that your guys during this season, what game in particular that you realized that you guys could get here?
I mean, we lost a huge piece probably 10 games into the season, and you know, we really didn't know which way the team was going to go. You know, thank God we were in the middle of the kingdom of the sun, and you know, I just figured, man, we're about to get our butt spanked, and we ended up doing pretty well in there. And you know, that's when I said, you know what, we actually do got a chance long term with this team, as long as we lock in defensively and stuff like that. But we definitely didn't know how it was going to go at first, because when you lose, you know, your best player, it's always tough.
No doubt. All right, Alix, the floor is yours.
Hello, and just want to thank everyone for coming. This is a surprise to me, honestly. I didn't know we'd have all the coaches on, so I really appreciate all of you guys jumping on, you know, especially with all the preparation you have. Some guys playing tomorrow, this weekend. But basically, I kind of want to piggyback off of what Doobie said, as far as, you know, pretty much everyone gave their time when they felt that they were going to make it. But as far as preparation, when you know that it's win or go home, when you know that in some cases you're the favorite to win, how do you keep your guys locked in? How do you manage the expectations in the games in the preparation? You know, I know Cilk at Calvary is highly favored in a lot of his games. A lot of pressure at Martin County with the community behind you. Lake Worth, great expectations. Columbus, great year. So all these expectations, how did you guys manage that, especially in these games where you knew if you lost, it could be over? And we could kind of go in the same order that Doobie started with answering that question.
So for us, it was important for us to realize, you know, once every team establishes their identity and how they're going to play, it's reminding them that that's what works for you. So for, you know, us over here at Sagemont, it was our pace and ball movement. As long as we could keep that and play to a certain standard, we were gonna be good from there on out. So it wasn't so much of looking at who we necessarily were playing, but basically more of a playing against ourselves and keeping the standard of of where we know we want to be at and keeping true to our identity. And we felt if we could do those two things, then we would have a shot to get ourselves here.
And I don't know who is next, but anyone could just hop in and answer that question after that.
Yeah, to be honest, for us, it was early in the season and we was beating everybody. And some of the kids, they kind of got the big head. Then we went over to one of Marcus McGee events and played Sagemont. I think they whacked us by like 30 points. And I kind of thought to myself, I had to change the way the practice habits was and focus more on defense, because Sagemont just ran freely through us and just shot us out the gym. So I had to wake them up on the defensive end and just started homing in on the defensive end. And I used like a whole lot of reverse psychology towards, because I got 9 seniors. And some of the seniors, they get lackadaisical because they feel like we're going to beat everybody. So by punish them, they thought it was a punishment, but it was more conditioning of going up and down, doing layup drills and 3-man weave in certain times. And for some reason, it just clicked. It just clicked. Even though, like I said, we lost to Pine Charter, but we fought very hard. And ever since then, their focus is there. Like, they're laser sharp focus right now. They got one goal and one goal only to finish on top. So yeah, that Sagemont game, they really whacked us and it taught us a lesson. So that was the game that really flipped the season and flipped everybody's mindset.
Coach Leon, how do you guys handle that added pressure that Alix was talking about?
Well, for me, I guess I was just lucky enough to have some seniors this year, starting with Ryan Davis. But I think I got 4 seniors that kind of been with me since. And I guess I'm a little lucky this way where I've had these kids around my program since probably 5th, 6th grade. Most of them come through the kids camps and they've been around. So I think the pride is instilled in the program early. But I think one of those monumental moments where we lost against a St. Lucie West Centennial game where it was a double overtime game. It was about 100 free throw shot. And I think what happened was, the internet and the Instagram, all that started getting in the kids' ear. And I think losing that game was probably a blessing in disguise, because after that, the focus, really tightened up with Ryan and the senior Bray and Jaden. So I think losing a game, like Coach said, when you get your butt whooped a little bit, they listen to you a little bit more. But I think the seniors kind of took the lead on that. But the 4 seniors all year have been focused. But I think losing that game locally, in which, we've usually the hunted up here in the Treasure Coast, we were everybody's best game, but they really came out that game. The gym was packed and kind of gave us a great wake-up call.
Now, Cilk, Alix kind of led you in with the same thing. What kind of pressures and stuff how do you guys handle that with sometimes you might think, especially locally, when you don't find teams that match up as well as against your team, man? You have a very elite team and it's a national team at this point. Like, how do you find the continuance to keep them motivated and locked in?
I just think each day holding them accountable, like whether it's in practice, because we're at a point where we kind of divide the teams up every day and have them go against each other, and go against each other and battle it out. And we have some great competitions through practice, so that kind of keeps them going each day. And I think that helps out a lot. I think holding each kid accountable, no matter who they are, it is big. And I think that each of those kids' parents, they see the big picture. And so it's more of a serious setting at home with those guys. And so they're held accountable as well there. So I just think it's the type of kids we have. And I mean, each day, people probably don't know, we lost every game in this Somerset preseason league. And I did it kind of on purpose, as far as having certain guys play and making them do it on their own, that type of thing. and we lost every game in that league. We lost 2 games in the fall to overtime. We lost to Sierra Canyon. And I think all those losses in the fall really helped us through the season as far as what we needed to do. And then I think the timely losses to Mount Verde and Milton actually helped us too. So kind of like what the other coaches are saying with those different things, but we have a good group, man, and having Brendan come along this year really helped us out too. So
got it. Tony, again, not too many people know about RIviera Prep until these last recent years. How does the focus and like what Alix said, how do you keep those guys motivated through the season? Unmute yourself, Tony.
All right, gotcha. No, we got a good group, a good mixture of underclassmen and upperclassmen. And, like you said, not too many people know about us. So that's that chip we carry on our shoulder every practice, every day. We got a lot of guys that are trying to prove themselves on this team. And I would definitely say we took an ass whooping second game of the season against Columbus. We came in on our high horse thinking we were the hottest thing out. And man, they really gave us a wake-up call, and it was a readjustment for us. Probably the best thing that happened to us all year, man.
Drew, same to you, having a talented group that as you do, along with the Boozer sons, and then you have Fagula, the 3-point specialist, and them being such a young group. How do you keep their focus? Because when you got younger kids, man, it's a different kind of game you got to play.
I just try to trick them every game. No, you really have to. We watch a lot of film, so we show them a lot of what the other team's gonna do, and then that allows them to see the talent that the other team has as well. But what I really tried to do is really have the toughest schedule that I could possible in the first year to prepare them for.
You muted yourself, Drew.
My bad. It's kind of daily for us. We're consistently speaking to the guys on a daily basis, just trying to keep them locked in because they are so young. But they do a good job of watching a lot of film even on their own. So that helps a lot for us staying locked in.
Got it. Thank you. Hey, Rick, welcome. We got Rick from Source Hoops. Appreciate you making it, Rick. If you had any questions you'd like to ask us, let me know. Chime in anytime. My next question to you guys is, at this point that we've gone through this, the way Max Prep does these seeding things, do you feel that it's beneficial, and has it been better for basketball in South Florida when it comes to you guys scheduling games or trying to find games? And I'll go with Cilk first for this one.
I'm kind of up and down with this because I don't know if you guys seen we're number 2 seed in the class 4A, but in Max Preps we're number 3 in the country, and I don't understand that. I've asked FHSA about it as well, just because I was trying to find out who we were going to play first round. And so they got us as a 2 seed in our class. And I don't know how they went around doing it as far as whether it was strength of schedule or I don't know. But as far as I haven't really looked at it through the season with our scheduling. I just wanted to make sure that we played in different events. We had time to rest and time to prepare for each event. And and then I just focused on our strength of schedule as far as because I had a talk with Geico people before the season, and I actually after the season last year, and we kind of missed out on it for a few reasons, but so I was prepared for it this year. But oh no, it's just funny to me how they're doing everything. But
gotcha. Oh, I forgot. Hey, congratulations on the baby too, man.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks.
Coach, do you agree with them reseeding in the Final Four? I'll ask that to all the coaches.
I mean,
they essentially reseeded in the Final Four. There's no longer north-south type of bracketing.
Yeah, I mean, for us, I didn't know they were doing that until obviously I found out. But so we're looking at a certain team for a while, whatever, and then now and then now they reseeded us. But in reseeding us, they went about it in whatever way they did, and we're the second seed. So I don't know. I just think that part was weird, and I didn't understand how they did that, but it's all good. I think with our schedule and the people we played back to back and the teams we've seen already, we won't have it no other way. So,
Coach Leon, can you being an elder statesman here, can you kind of go off of what Rick said? Do you agree with the reseeding at this point?
At this point, I don't worry about too many things at this point in my life, to be frank with you. But I just kind of teach my kids to get out there and play who's ahead of you. I would just kind of throw out there, my sister, and he's a little bit younger than me, he played for me. He was thinking about the seedings after districts, and maybe just seeding 1 through 30 through across the state instead of the region things, because just personally, we were looking at the teams we had to kind of come across them, looking across the state at different regions, playing teams like Dwyer and Dillard the first couple of rounds, when if you spread this thing out over the state, I'm just guessing, you would have a lot of these teams probably meeting in the Final Four. But, we're blessed. Hey, we've been playing well. We've got lucky a couple of times. I'm not going to complain about it, but, you had a lot of tough teams playing first, second round, when if you really spread that thing out, it would some of these better teams wouldn't meet until the Final Four. But hey, we're lucky, we're blessed, and that's my little take on it.
Yeah, Frank, being from Lake Worth, how do you feel about the reseeding of the Final Four?
Well, just like the other guy said, I mean, it's something new, and we know that Max Preps kind of is taking over how things are going in the playoffs. It's definitely different from what we're accustomed to, where you get the last 2 teams in the district, and you kind of battle, you go from there. I think that the thing that got to me is you may see the same team again, and you may play a team multiple times, and I'm like, how many times do I have to beat this team? I mean, and we run into that. So sometimes if you play a team, you're gonna see them again, because how the seeding is, and then it kind of takes away from the regular season. If you've been doing well the whole regular season, and you get to one game, say you run up to a tough opponent in the district championship game, and you drop from that one game, and and you got to go on the road now, and you've been doing well the whole season. I think that's kind of unfortunate for those teams that's been locked in the whole season. And if you're a good team, people gunning for you at that district championship game, and that doesn't, that just discredits the whole season that you've been playing. So I mean, with those 2 factors, playing teams multiple times, and then getting punished for that game. If you say, for instance, you drop that game, getting punished to get dropped to go on the road now, I mean, that makes it kind of tough. So that would be my, something that I don't like about it. But you got to do it. You got to play, and you just got to, the game is the game. You got to tip the ball. You got to play. So it doesn't matter. That doesn't matter.
Nah, I hear you. Me and Alix kind of, Rick, going back to your question, me and Alix talked about that too earlier in a different podcasts. It's like, you're rewarding teams for good scheduling and playing competition, but then you had a team like myself who had no business getting to the district championship. But, back in the day, you make it to the district championship, you win or lose, I knew I was going into the state playoffs. Right. But like you take Calvary and North Broward Prep, they were 2-3 or 1-2 in the state throughout the whole year, but one of them loses and now they become a 5 seed. So if I'm the 4 seed, I'm mad because I got to really play a number 1 team. So when I looked at a lot of those things, I know these guys have probably the same feeling where I know Cardinal Gibbons played University about 3 times and their games were going into triple overtimes. So it's like, at that point, shoot, like you say, how many times I got to beat this team? But what happens if that team beats me that 3rd time? Right. Those other 2 times don't even matter. So Dave, in your situation at Sagemont, are you okay with the reseeding it when you get to Lakeland?
Yeah, I was a little thrown off by it too. I couldn't find it anywhere on the FHSA trying to figure out what happened. It took me like a few hours worth of scouring to finally find that they were reseeding it. For us, we realized once we got here, we're gonna have to play somebody regardless. So we try to just focus on what we can control, and that wasn't one of them. And what we could control was throughout the year playing a difficult schedule and teams that all play different styles. So by the time we get here, we've seen it all, we've played against it all, we've prepared for it all. So then it's just making minor adjustments based off of what we've seen already. But as to go for what everyone's talking about before, I was 2 years ago pre-COVID. They introduced this new max preps, and I was excited to kind of work because us, Calvary, and Westminster were all in the same district. And in previous years, one of us wouldn't have gotten out, and we all 3 had really, really good teams. So it worked in that sense. But then seeing it this year and watching a team, being tops and then have to turn around and go on the road and be a 5 seed and turn around and play each other again, made it seem, like there could be some better format to this, so that didn't happen. At least if they did have to see each other, it would be at the end in the regional final, because we just happen to be a saturated area. So when we reseed it, those tough districts just wind up playing each other all over again.
Duby, I'm gonna jump in real quick, and I've gone on the record saying that I do like this new format, and but I definitely understand the coaches' perspectives because having to play teams multiple times, having to like I said, as you move forward, the games get tougher. I'm just speaking strictly from a fan's perspective or as an observer. The games have been great. And I think the competition level has been great as well. So for me, I think I like that because it's been fun to watch and fun to see the teams compete. But as a coach, I can definitely understand the stress and, the consequences losing those types of games if it were to happen. Thankfully, all you guys advanced, but I definitely hear what you're saying. But as a fan, speaking strictly from a fan perspective or from an observer perspective, I think that this format is better. And like I said, I think you're getting the best 6, 7, 8 teams down the line. My issue that I do have is I feel that South Florida is kind of being punished in a way because you have so many of the better, so many of the good teams in South Florida are kind of clumped together, right? In 7A, you have all these great teams in 7A, and then you have a whole bunch in Orlando, and that's basically your 7A. So basically your 7A is Orlando versus South Florida. In 6A, you had 5 of the top 10 teams all clustered in South Florida. So I feel like there was, in some way, South Florida is being punished because all the teams are kind of clustered into either different classes or different groups, and you kind of cancel each other out. So that part of the argument I do understand, but everything else I do actually like the format, but hopefully moving forward it can be tweaked and adjusted a little bit.
Tony, you guys being I think you're a 3 seed, correct? When you in the regionals.
Yeah, we were a 3 seed because we ended up having to add 2 games at the end of the year as a favor to me by 2 of my ex-coaches because I don't know if you know what went down with my point guard. He ended up getting suspended for something that was absolutely ridiculous, and if we didn't add those 2 extra games at the end of the season, his suspension would have ran into the playoffs. So we added 2 probably the worst teams in the entire country, and our strength of schedule went from like 20 down to like 16. So it killed it. We were number 1 the whole year in the 3A, and then we dropped down to 3. Now I think they moved us back up to 1. But you know, I'm not a big fan of the way they do it now, just because of how some of the other coaches have said. You see teams multiple times, and then if you know you're a really good team, but you lose to another good team, you could drop down to that 5th seed. I don't know. I'd rather they just do away with all that and just go like Coach Leon, I think, said 1 through 32, and then you know let's do it that way. You know.
No doubt, Drew. I guess you guys are still number 1, correct?
No, I think we're a 2 seed.
Okay.
I think Dr. Phillips is number 1.
Now with those type of do you agree with the way they reseeded it? Or again, at the end of we know everybody got to play, but
I mean, as far as the reseeding in the Final Four, I don't know. I like the system in terms of strength of schedule because you get to see all the top teams playing each other in the area. So I think that uplifts the game because it's just fun to get out there and watch those games. As far as reseeding in the Final Four, I mean, I don't think I should be the number 1 seed, so I wasn't really upset about it. So I didn't know it either until recently, because I don't think they did that when they first started the first year. But I'm okay with it for now. I just like the whole strength of schedule thing. But I do like the idea of coach from Martin County with the 1 through 32. I think that's a great idea.
And we started now. Leon for president. What's up, man? No, guys, again, man, I appreciate it and thank you. What I will say is, you guys, most of you guys I've known for a long time, and you guys always handle yourselves with pride and dignity in class. So, again, I know you guys represent South Florida well up there, and we'll do what we got to do. Dave, you was an assistant with Adam on some of the state teams, correct? So now being able to take over at Sagemont as the main guy, like, do you feel any added pressure to add on to some of those legacy? Because I know Adam texting you.
Yeah, no, I was there through all of those runs with Adam from our first state championship all the way through there. This is my 13th year at Sagemont, so I was his assistant for 8 years. Actually, I would say that the number one thing I got from Adam was to learn how to prepare for this. You know, this is my first trip as a head coach here in Lakeland, but all the years of making our trips here from the previous teams, I learned a lot about the preparation that goes into it, and how fast it actually goes, and the more prepared you are for it, and it's everything but the basketball. To have them, you know, when we get up here, when we practice, when they eat, when they do all that, and Adam was very meticulous with it. And I look back at it and realized a lot of our success came from that planning. I would say that's probably the biggest thing I learned from him and dealing with this so far. Now I'm up here right now. We're eating right now in our trip up here to Lakeland. So we're excited.
Coach Leon, I'm gonna ask you this question. You yourself, what do you do to prepare for, you know, outside of the kids and everything else? How do you prepare for a moment like this? Going to Lakeland, do you feel any added pressure? I know Martin County, they support their basketball like no other in that area. And I think you've been at Martin County now for what, 15 years or so?
12. This is my 12th, yeah.
So you took over for, I can't remember coach's name.
McIntyre.
Coach Mac.
Yeah.
He used to run a tournament up there that I used to go to. So now Coach McIntyre has a long history up there in Martin County. Like, how do you, I know you've taken the place and done it your way. How do you keep those traditions alive, and how do you prepare for what's going on?
I think just constant communication. I think, again, following a coach like McIntyre, it really was a little rough in the beginning because as any new head coach knows, you got to kind of switch how things are done, and it's not accepted all the way by many. So after that first couple of years, everything kind of smoothed out. Everyone got used to how we start doing things different. But I think getting these kids in early as we do up here, it's not that bad at all. The support I get is support. I think when we have rough years, I think the support is still there. So, but I think the preparation to get to where we're getting, we was here, I think 2013, and I think the biggest thing we talked about today was just being prepared for the moment and getting off the Instagram and the uncles and the AAU coaches. No disrespect to anybody, but I think every kid has 5 people telling them they're the man. And I think I spent maybe an hour today just discussing those things and making sure we stay connected as a team. And the win is the most important thing. So I think we're dealing with teenagers, but that was just the psychology of the kids. I think, like Coach Stranahan said, just the psychology of just making sure the kids stay connected. That's what I've been trying to do for the most part. So if the kids are connected, I can deal with, everybody else. I'm grown, but the kids are kids. So just the communication part.
Got it. Yo, Ed, let me tell you, like, I'm superstitious in a lot of different ways, and even with games. So I don't let anybody wash my uniforms but me. So that's like my game day. Like, regardless of what happens, I'm washing uniforms. So that's my thing. I set up the gym. I do everything. So, Ed, is there anything like superstitious that you do before games?
Yeah, Duke, I'm the same way. I've been watching the uniforms the last 2 years because, number one, these kids will forget stuff or the manager won't miss something. I set up the gym too. But before the game, I just put on a little music in my ears and clear my mind. And then I get that good pregame speech and just relax. Gotta relax myself because the kids see me relax and they're gonna be relaxed. And I like what Coach from Martin County said. I had a discussion right before we got into district with the kids and told them in order for us to go to Lakeland, we got to get rid of all the drama and all the toxic stuff, like toxic players who crying about playing time or their parents texting me and calling me. They don't run this show. So whatever goes on in our circle, we got to keep our circle tight. And if anybody let anything in this circle, it'll fall. The locker room is the main killer. And all the drama in the locker room, it'll kill the mystique of a team. So my message to them was, we got to tighten our circle. Don't let nobody in, your mama, your daddy, your best friend, your uncles, nobody. And, I got a kid on my team. He got over 40 offers from Power 5 football, but he don't show that. He's a humble kid. He stay down and they keep everybody else down. So that's why we're going to Lakeland, because they brought into that conversation. So, it all starts with them and ends with them. That's what I tell them. Your mama and your dad are the best coaches on the ride home. But when you're inside them lines, I'm your coach. The staff is your coach. You come to us, you don't go to them. And I tell them quick, if I see you over there in that sideline, you might well go sit with them.
No doubt about that. Frank, tell me, what is going to be like getting on Lakeland floor? What's that morning look like?
Well, that morning is, making sure that, first of all, I'm an early riser. So I get up early and try to get things moving. But making sure the kids are up and making sure they understand and, what's at stake and what they're about to get themselves involved into, just keeping them focused. You have to keep these guys focused. Like I said, and a couple other coaches on here said that we're dealing with kids. And, they can start playing and get in a playful mode. And they really don't understand the magnitude of that moment. Because a lot of our kids, and I keep saying, I speak on mine, I can't talk about nobody else's. They're at the height of their ignorance at this point. So we got to make sure they're locked in and know what they're about to get into, because we're going to be serious and intense, because that's what coaches do. And we're not going to take it for granted. But some of these kids don't really understand what this moment is about. And so you got to keep them locked in. So that morning, just making sure they understand what's going on and what they're about to get themselves into. And then, hey, just prepare ourselves and get ready. I don't have as a player, I had a game day ritual, but as a coach, it's just because I'm the AD too. So my days can be, it can go any kind of way.
Man. Yeah, buddy.
So as a AD, is nothing goes the same way for me every game. So I just try to make sure my kids are locked in. My assistant coaches do a good job by watching and making sure that they're locked in if I have other duties. But we're going to go through our thing. I think the main thing the kids look forward to is eating. They want to make sure they have a good meal. So that's the big thing. If I don't have a meal ready, then I know that there's a problem. So I got to make sure I got them something good to eat.
Good stuff. Hey guys, like I know Doobie said we wanted to keep it at right around 1 hour, and we are there. I truly appreciate every single coach coming on here and taking time. Especially, we have Sagemont that's already in Lakeland. RIviera Prep is already in Lakeland. I'm sure Cilk and those guys are on the way. Lake Worth and Columbus, two teams will be competing against each other, but both coaches have respect to come on. Doobie, this is a testament to you, because I don't think anyone else could have done this. Rick, appreciate you coming on. Doobie, great job in putting this together, because I really didn't expect this. And I'm truly grateful to all the coaches here. I wish them all luck. And, I'm going to hand it off to Doobie to kind of wrap this up.
Well, I appreciate the kind words. I just think that, again, these guys, I've known every last one of them. So, I just appreciate them respecting me enough to get on, and regardless of where they're at, they've gotten on. Last year, Cilk was actually like driving in between different places and stuff like that, and he was jumping in and out. So I really appreciate that. That lets us know that us local guys still matter in a certain kind of way. But again, for me, and I always tell Alix this, and I always tell Rick this from when he know me, I'm always going to push South Florida basketball to everybody. I've been doing that from day one when I got here. And I truly believe that, because I believe that South Florida is the key to basketball in Florida. For our state to be good, these guys right here have to be good. So when you have a Cilk and you have a Columbus and Andrew, and you have these Sagemonts, and everybody have these teams that can compete on the national level, I have nothing but respect for what these guys do. And Cilk, if you happen to get to Geico, you just got to represent for us, period. You know how I always feel about that. And then I would like everybody here to win a state championship. At the end of the day, I know two guys one of them gonna have to lose. That's on them to figure that part out. That ain't me. But again, I genuinely respect everybody here, because I know you guys put in the long hours, the long work, the summers. People don't realize that you don't get paid for none of this stuff, man. And everything you do is out of your pocket and out of your hearts, because we know that stipend don't matter. And getting kids into college and doing what we need to do, that's what matters the most. So again, I commend you guys. I appreciate you guys. I support you guys 1,000%. And, one thing I do promise you guys, like I told Alix, I will do a better job next year of doing more promotion of stuff, man, getting things out information wise. Like Cilk, I was texting Cilk today, like, who's asleep on your team? Because I need to start getting it out to colleges, because those are the things that I like to do behind the scenes, because you guys got players that nobody knows of. Like I seen Anthony, he got a little point guard, Esteban. I met him over the weekend. Man, little joker can go, man. You know what I mean? And nobody knows him. So, Frank, I know you got a little point guard up there that people keep talking about that I haven't seen yet, that get buckets. So, you know, I got to make it my due diligence to know. You got Adrian Perez over there, Dave, who put in work. That kid ain't playing. You know, and I was fortunate enough to go watch Stranahan and Houston Culpepper. I don't know why people not on him. Ed, they better figure that part out quick because he's a problem. And Drew, you're gonna have NBA guys in your gym, so I can't even worry about you, man, because you got some serious young talent. Cause so again, man, Coach Leon, again, you up in Mountain County. I'll make my way up there one day next year. I'm gonna make sure I get you down for an event too. So again, I appreciate you guys. I thank you guys. Rick, always a pleasure. I'm gonna stop recording, and you know, if we want to chop it up for a few minutes, we can. And again, thank you guys from the bottom of my heart, and represent us to the fullest.
Hey, coaches, congrats on a great season. No matter what happens this week, you guys have done an incredible job and have been very successful, and your kids have been very successful. Best of luck to all of you this week.
Thanks.
Thank you, dude. We appreciate it, man. Thank you, guys.
Nah, man. Same, man.
Thanks, Doobie.
We'll be there Thursday. We'll be there because we play before y'all, so we'll be supporting y'all.
All right.
Doobie, you still recording? It still shows recording on there.
It does?
Yeah. I'm waiting for somebody to curse me out. I don't want to be recorded when they curse me out.
I gotta go put the kids to bed.